Welcome to my Sickle Cell Life
My
podcast.
name is Janquisha Phillips. I go by Jan. Um, I have created this podcast because I suffer from sickle cell and I want to help people with sickle cell get their message out there, spread more awareness, and create a community, you know. And I feel like when we work together, we can get our story sport further. So again, thank you for coming and agreeing to sit with me. Um, and if I understand that you are a mother, right, to a warrior or a
Yes,
caregiver,
that's correct.
what is your child's name, age, and their genotype of sickle cell?
His name is Jacob. He's 4 and he has sickle cell SS.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And how did it get passed down to him?
Both parents has the trait.
The trait. Okay.
hmm
Did you know that you and your partner had a trait, or y'all?
I knew, but his dad didn't know.
Okay. That they weren't testing back then
Yeah.
like that. So I definitely understand that. That's how a lot of people are, especially in our community. They didn't know, and that's how they created a child with sickle
Right.
cell.
Right.
But so, did you find out about the diagnosis upon birth or later on?
I didn't find out till he was 6 weeks during his hospital stay. He was a preemie when he was born, so they tested then. Because I was never
Hmm.
tested during pregnancy when I was pregnant
Okay.
for it.
Okay. All right. And so, what was your feeling when they told you that? Like, how did it make you feel?
Well, my uncle had sickle cell and he passed away from it because he had got some bad blood. So I knew a little bit about it. So when they told
Uh,
me, I just bust out and started crying because I knew what was to come. And
yeah.
his dad didn't know I was crying because he don't know anything about sickle cell. And I was like, you just don't understand.
Yeah.
I was,
Right.
I was angry, sad, a lot of emotions at that
Mm,
time.
oh man, I can imagine. I can imagine. I'm glad we have more education now to know that it's not an automatic death sentence,
Yes,
you know,
correct.
and so that I'm glad, he's born when he's born. There's more education,
Right.
but how, overall, how has he been since his birth? Has he been pretty good with crisis or
He had his first crisis when he was 8 months old.
oh,
At first I didn't know what it was, and I was like, "This is a different type of crime that we got going on," and it hit his legs. So I took him to the hospital, and they got us back the first time, and they were like, "This is a crisis." So we
mm,
stayed in the hospital for like a week, and
oh
after
wow,
that, he was good to go. They put him on pain meds and stuff, the morphine and all that good stuff. So I started having to research myself on natural things to do for
oh
him.
yeah, oh
So
yeah,
right now he's on a natural diet. They when he was first diagnosed, they did the penicillin until he's 5, and the folic acid.
yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
just started research. I was like, penicillin can't be good till you're 5 for your insides. So I stopped penicillin and
yeah.
stopped folic acid. So I did folate. Now he take folate instead of the folic acid, and I don't do
Okay.
the penicillin. So he's been
Yeah.
getting it so far, but he had a blood transfusion when he was 2. So his hemo had dropped down to like 4.
Oh man.
That's when
Oh.
they started the hydroxyurea.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
very, very, very skeptical of the
Oh
hydroxyurea with the side effects and stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Um,
yeah.
I did it for like 2 months and it was just bad side effects from it. So I started on a natural drug that I researched. So he takes that. But
Okay.
so far he's good.
That
He's good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, they I think they have a protocol, I guess,
Huh.
of drugs that they're gonna automatically try to put you on as a sickle cell
Mm-hmm.
patient. And it's just like I thought, and it's so crazy to hear it now, but they're still doing that because I thought that we had gotten away from doing penicillin because they tell you that penicillin or any antibiotic over a long course is bad for you
Yeah,
because you're going to get immune to
your
it and
body's
it's not
coming
going to
in.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Really need it to work.
Mm-hmm.
So to hear that they're still doing that,
Mm-hmm.
it that's it's surprising
I still get
and
the
it
feel because they can tell if I get the feel, but I said I can't give him this because
right,
what if he really do need the penicillin? He's been on it for so long, his body is immune to
right.
it. It's useless.
Yeah, like it oh my goodness. It's opening my eyes to the things they are still doing that I thought was outdated. I thought
Mm-hmm.
we have come to the conclusion that these
Mm-hmm.
things are not working. They didn't okay. Oh, oh no,
That's
no,
like
you
me and his pediatrician. We don't see eye to eye because like if I take him in for this, she want to do this, but he's her only sickle cell patient. She know nothing about sickle cell, and she's an African American doctor.
oh
And I
wow.
tell her, she always tell me, stay off of Google. I don't Google. I'm educating myself. I'm talking to moms with
Right.
sickle cell kids who know the real thing, who see
Yeah,
it daily. You can't tell me,
right.
like I tell you, you can't tell me anything because you're his only patient with sickle cell. You're just reading
Mhm.
what the books tell you, what the doctors tell you to
Yep,
do, and we butt
yep,
heads back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm having to find him
yep.
another pediatrician who will listen more to me because right now he's on a 4, and I know what's to come when he
Mm.
become, legal, that adult
Right.
size, and she don't
Mhm.
understand any of that, and it really just
Right.
frustrates me.
Yes, I'm glad that at least he has you as an advocate
Mhm,
for him because yeah, they will put him on unnecessary stuff
mhm,
because it's incentivized to push certain drugs whether they work or
mhm,
not. And when you start peeping that, you be like, look, I'll feel it and you can feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to,
mhm,
but I'm going to do at the end of the day what I feel is best for my child and my
mhm.
family. And that's what you're supposed to do because these hospitals are killing us. They are
Yes.
killing us.
I
And
remember he I remember he I took him to his hemo appointment, and he was had to be, I want to say, going on 3. So I would tell him, I said he's still having crisis in his legs at night because he's restless, and she tells me, oh, he's just fighting sleep. And I said, no, I know fighting a baby fighting sleep and in pain. I said moaning and stuff. And if I take out the heat pad and do the
right.
massages and the heat, he's fine. I was like, what can you do? Oh, nothing, because I know kids and they're just fighting sleep at that age. I said, what I need for you to do, walk out this room and don't come back here
Mhm.
to give me another hemo doctor because you will not be his. So
Yeah.
that's when I
Yeah.
started off like, well, how can I be an advocate? Last year I got certified in being an advocate. So I will go to
Mm.
the hospitals and help other people, adults and kids, because a lot of people don't know how to talk to them or what to
Right.
say to people. So
Yes.
I need to step up as at least one person to help anybody I can that need that voice.
Yes, yes, yes. We thank you so much for being an advocate for us,
Oh, you're
because
welcome.
it is people with direct experience that know and are with sickle cell patients every day, day in, day out, not
Mm-hmm.
every few days, not in the hospital setting, not like you're getting the view of your child in every way that nobody
Mm-hmm.
else is getting. And so yeah, you are the best advocate for him. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you for getting certified because we need it. They I'm surprised that they are already putting him on morphine so
Mm-hmm.
early. And I understand it's like the pain is severe when it's a crisis, but like there's so much other stronger non-narcotic stuff for a
Mhm.
baby that you can
Mhm.
give that will help them, and you don't have to push the narcotics on them so young because
And
they go ahead.
and like they he got hydrocodone at home for pain. I never give
Mhm.
it. I said if I give it now when he get older, it's not gonna work. Cause they already think sickle
Right.
cell people are drug heads and all of that. I said, why give it so
Yep.
young? Because you guys' bodies are immune at a young age if
Mm.
you take it constantly. So my
Yes.
thing is do
Yes.
something a lower so it can build up.
Right. And so when he gets those real bad crises when he's older, because that's when it's gonna come, as
Hmm.
your body
Hmm.
ages, you
Hmm.
know, that's when he's really gonna need the stronger stuff. And if you're already immune to it, and your tolerance is gonna be through the roof, and it's gonna be extremely hard to control your pain. And yeah, and then they do this to children, and then when that child gets older and is in the hospital all the time, they're like, oh, like you said, a drug
Hmm.
seeker. And it's like, well, you put this child on this medicine so young before their brain could even know what was going on,
Hmm.
you know
Correct.
so yeah. So as far as your family dynamics, are you his biggest advocate, or do you have people that help you like in your family and stuff like that?
I'm teaching his brothers to if I would like if anything ever happened to me, to become an advocate, and I'm trying to teach them. I'm even teaching Jacob at 4 how to speak up for
Mm-hmm.
himself. So I'm
Yeah.
training people in the family to
Yeah.
get it rolling, what to say, what notes take. Every time I go to his, I have my notepad. I wanted my HIPAA
Yeah.
violation. I'm certified in HIPAA too. I want all my paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always give me a hard time by getting his counts, his blood counts. I need to know it because every time I look at his counts, I need to what's going on, what I need to change, what I need to tweak on medicine and stuff for him.
Exactly.
They hate it so much. They always ask, "Well, we showing you here. That's good. You showing me here, but I want my paperwork." I compare
Right.
stuff because you guys lie all the time. I don't trust doctors. You guys lie all
Right.
the time, especially being African American. You'll lie. So I'm training
Yes.
people on what to do and all of that right now.
That that's so good. And I'm glad you're not in it by yourself, at least. Now,
Hmm.
is you said your uncle had sickle
My
cell?
uncle had it.
uh,
He was from
so is your son and your uncle the only ones in your family that have sickle cell?
yes, they had, yeah, he passed away, but he had
um
the full blown,
oh,
and my son now has full blown, but my other two boys just has the trait. And I taught them about
okay.
you can't mate with anybody that has,
Yep.
because it's gonna be the
Yep.
full blown.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's why I was asking, because I have children too,
Hmm.
and I tell them, I don't go into full detail, but I tell them, look, when you get up there and you want to get married, you got to
Hmm.
test her first, you
Hmm.
know. So
Yes.
it's good to hear, because not everybody with sickle cell patients in their family are doing things like this. They're not educating their family on the trait
Hmm.
or any of that. So kudos to you for being on top of it. And that's why the doctors do not like you,
Hmm.
because you're on top of everything. You're just as
Yeah.
smart as they are. So they
Yeah.
can't tell you nothing, you know?
And they hate it. I mean, if they see you coming, that they know you have that knowledge. They hate it
Yeah.
with a passion to see you coming.
Yep.
Yes.
Because they know they're gonna have to really work. you know,
Hmm.
some
Yes.
patients, they can work and they go at whatever the doctor says, they do it. You know,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
so a
Exactly.
patient and their family with some standards and knowledge,
Hmm.
they got to do some work,
And
and that's good.
it is amazing to me how many Black people don't know what sickle cell is. Since I
I
became an
know.
advocate, I do speaking events, and I'm a school teacher, so I'm trying to bring. I was like, I know it's kids in this school that has sickle cell, and they're not heard. I said, you got so many groups going on. I said, what can I do?
Mm,
So this year I'm trying to start a sickle cell group at school so kids who have sickle cell or even the trait can come to me and we can talk about it. And you can
right.
tell me this, tell me that. But I was like, there's really nowhere for kids with sickle cell to go to, like in
No,
school or anything. They have
no,
this club, but nothing on sickle cell. So I'm trying
no.
to do something that kids can be like, oh, it's a group for us. We got a diabetic group. We have a group for kids with cancer. We have a lesbian
Everything.
group. Everything except for sickle cell. You never hear about sickle cell anywhere. And I said, if
No.
I could just be that one voice to get it out there for
Yeah.
kids to know what's going on. You're not alone in this.
Yes.
Like the
That.
nurse, when Jacob started school, he's in school, and I always call a meeting to tell them what I want, what you're going to do, and what you need to do to call me. And
Yeah.
when I he went to a new school this year, so I contacted the school. I was like, I need to call a meeting. He's a sickle cell, and I need to know, do the nurse know anything? Except about what she read.
Right.
So the nurse called me back, and she was like, "Oh, we know about sickle cell. All sickle cell people are the same." I said, "No, no,
Mm.
no, they're not." I said, "That's like saying all cancer patients are the same. They are
Same.
not."
Right.
Well, we'll tell you,
Yeah.
no, you're not. What you're gonna do is you're gonna call a meeting for me to come up there to tell you what's gonna go on with my son. And they get furious
Hmm.
at the news. Furious.
Uh,
So
yeah. Oh my goodness. They hate to see a knowledgeable person
mm-hmm.
coming. They really do. And
Mm-hmm.
especially on behalf of sickle cell and a disease that mostly afflicts black and brown people.
Right.
So they hate to see you coming. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so good to meet someone else that is passionate about making sickle cell bigger,
Mm-hmm.
make pushing it out there, more
Right.
awareness, because the ignorance that runs rampant in our community about sickle cell is sickening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's sickening. And it's in places like the hospital where we need those people to know what they're doing and
Mm-hmm.
about what we go through.
Right.
So thank you for your advocacy. I can't say that enough. I really cannot.
Oh, you.
Because,
I'm planning on good things next year to further out speaking and stuff. I found out 3 months ago my mom actually had a sickle cell foundation before she passed that never went anywhere. So I'm trying to get that up and running and start a sickle cell foundation in my son's name.
yep.
So hopefully next year I can have everything.
Yeah.
I sent out paperwork already to Montgomery to get the ball rolling. Cause I really need to get out there, just push, make everybody mad at me, just push.
Yes. Yes. All of that. I've been having the same thoughts of, yes, making a foundation, and because we need funding and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. We need all the same programs that
Mm-hmm.
all of these other diseases get, not just pharmaceuticals,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
are the biggest funders in our community is
Is it?
the pharmaceutical company, because they want to push drugs on us, or the blood drive companies because they
Mm-hmm.
need people to donate blood. So it's never when these advocacy groups come up sometimes and they're big corporations, it's always to drive something towards us. It's never really about us,
Right.
so I
When I was
definitely applaud you.
when
Mhm.
I was going through my advocacy class, and we got to have 30 minutes with the state legislators and the governors and stuff. So I sat in the room and waited for my time, and I got so disappointed because I'm not gonna call any names, but they got on for well. At first, they was late. 'Cause of course, they didn't want to do it, but they just agreed to do it. So I sit in the room
Mhm.
waiting for these big head people to, get funding and stuff. We was asking for funding for sickle cell.
Yeah,
They dust us off. They wanted no part of it. The only one that gave
yeah,
us opportunity to talk was a black state legislator. She was very nice, and she was like, "Well, I'm trying to get a hold of so and so to see can we fund some stuff because we was looking for $3.1 million for sickle cell," and it was just mind blowing that these white men could care less of what we were saying. It was a big opportunity.
Right.
For them. I was like, "This is insane." They're not even looking at the Zoom camera at us. They could care less. The
Right.
one guy was in his car, and I was like, "This is
Right. And
crazy."
yeah, it's a shame because there is no interest in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
If there's no eyes on it, if it's not marketable in
Hmm.
some sort of way, then there's no interest, there's no money for them to make.
Hmm.
All they see is all the money they're gonna lose funding it.
Exactly.
That's all they see. And
Exactly.
it's a shame. It's a real shame how they treat us. And so, or if you get your organization off the ground and you can get, donations from the sickle cell community and regular everyday people, then
Hmm.
you can come in the room as a big exec and say, I already have an organization. I'm doing
Mhm.
the work. I just need more funding.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
and maybe, who knows, they'll take you serious. But
Yeah.
I would love to work with you and do anything to help you with that,
Thank you.
because we need it. We need more advocacy in the sickle cell community.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have any of the doctors even approached you about a cure or any of that for your
I
son?
addressed when he had his first blood transfusion. I was in there with the older patients and stuff because you're all in the room, and he's the
Yeah.
youngest. And I was like, I just can't see my son going through this when he get older. 'Cause I'm seeing the adults and stuff. You can tell they're in pain. You can smell the
Mhm.
blood everywhere. And I was like, so I started Googling like a bone transplant. And they were like, well,
Mhm.
I'm from Alabama. They're like, well, Alabama only do it if it's 100% match. Of course, the kids
Mhm.
couldn't do it. I'm not a match. So I'm looking into doing the hypo, but I got to move out of Alabama to do it. But I'm
Oh.
looking into that right now to see
Oh.
if he'll qualify for that. So
Yeah.
this time
Well,
I'm still doing what I'm doing full steam ahead
yeah,
to, yeah, to
I
light some fire up under somebody.
yes, 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 all of that. It's crazy because they want to push all these other pharmaceuticals on you, but they're not trying to help you get into any kind of clinical trial or
Hmm.
anything.
Hmm.
Because every warrior that I talk to, their doctors are the ones approaching them about getting into clinical trials and helping them try to get cured. And you would think that they would be targeting some of the younger warriors
They're not though.
because it, and I don't understand why, because it's like they're young, they have a chance to
Hmm.
have a full life if you cure them young.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
it's baffling to me.
Yeah, they don't care at all. They don't care. Now, like at the end of the day, you guys are not guinea pigs. You guys are not drug heads. You wouldn't know. I've
Yeah.
posted a video on my social media because people are like, what is a sickle cell crisis? We was in the hospital of him having an actual crisis.
Hmm.
And people was like, oh my god, I never knew that's what sickle cell was. Yeah, this is the full. This is what I see. That was a little crisis in his belly that he had. I said that wasn't even a really big one. He was just hurt for three
Right.
days, and I couldn't control it at home because if I can control it at home, we're not going to the hospital.
Oh
If,
yeah.
if I can
Hmm.
do it at home and get it up, but this one I couldn't control, and I put it on social media. Everybody was so surprised. They were like, "Poor baby." I was like, "Yeah, this is what sickle cell look like." And
Yeah.
the older he get, the worse he's gonna look. This real
Hmm.
hard cut. Or somebody was like, you need to cut, you need to take it off. No, I'm not gonna take it off my social media. People need to be
Right.
aware. I want it
Mhm.
to go viral. I want everybody to see what they
Yes.
go.
Yes. All of that. And block out those people that tell you don't
Mhm.
share your story, because
And
they're
I am.
stifling you. It's the
Mhm.
not sharing of our stories is why they think what they think about us, you
Mhm.
know. It's
Right.
the fact that nobody will sit and listen to what the warrior goes through as a whole. all they see is when the warrior shows up in their ER or at their
Mhm.
doctor's office.
Mhm.
You know, they are not seeing what we go through every single day. They're not seeing it. And when we
Mhm.
show them and it's so painful, they're like, "Oh, don't show us." And it's
Yeah.
like, why? Y'all show
It's
everything
real.
else. It's like,
It's hardcore. It's real. You don't live it. Like people like, well, he don't look like he's sick. What do look like you sick mean? You know, I
right.
said,
What does
what
sick
is
look
that?
like?
Show me what you're supposed to look like being sick. Please show me.
Right. I asked somebody that too, because they tell us that all the time. Oh, you look so good. You don't even look like you're going through anything. Okay, but that's not a compliment.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
discounting what I'm going through by trying to tell me, oh, you look fine though. Oh, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what I look like. Can we get past that? Like
Mhm.
that's y'all's problem. You can't get past how we look.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Because I said
And
he can be playing in 5 minutes. 10 minutes later, he in a crisis. You never know what's
yes,
gonna happen. Because I know when the weather
yeah,
change, what we about to have.
yeah, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
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 And so, are his biggest triggers the weather, or do you know his biggest
Um,
trigger?
the weather, if he walk a lot, that's so I'm trying to get him a handicap parking pass because I noticed when he walk a lot, he complain of the legs, and he has hit his legs and his penis the most. So
Yeah,
I'm trying. His picture like, well, he need to exercise. I didn't say anything about. I'm saying what I'm seeing and what I'm telling you. I need.
right.
So the weather does it, and when he catch a cold, the cold really trigger one.
Yes, yep.
Yeah,
Our
those
our
type things.
yeah, our colds, any cold, it could be a common cold for a regular person. For us, it's gonna turn into
Mhm,
something else. Every
mhm.
almost every time, you'll be real lucky if you catch a cold and don't have a crisis with it.
Yeah,
You will
that's
be
like I
real
tell his teacher. I said, if anybody in his classroom got a cold, please let me know. But he gonna be out of school by 2 weeks because we
right.
can't catch nothing. I even tell his
Yeah.
oldest brother they'll catch a cold. He can't be around
Mhm.
y'all
Yeah.
cold, y'all can go about, but him, we in the hospital or somewhere. We in a crisis. So I
It's
thought,
so much work.
yes, it really, really. I said I don't like to keep him in the bubble, but sometimes we have to be in our own bubble to prevent a
Mhm.
crisis.
Is that there was a reason that Bubble Boy's mama wanted him in that
You
bubble.
know? Yes.
Because it's safer. I mean,
Mhm.
especially these children and some of their parents, they don't like to put them on jackets when it's cold outside, and they get sick. And just
Mhm.
because when their child gets sick, they can still run around and play,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you can send them to school sick. Because then
Mhm.
my child gets sick and they're down. But so how many crises do you say would you say he has monthly or yearly?
For a month, well, let's see. He done had 5 this month. I'll say he had between 8 or 10 a month that I can
Yeah.
see. But he
Yeah.
didn't get I think he's, like, he came up to me, last year, he was like, "Why do I have special blood?" Because I tell him, I said, "You have special blood." I said, "Your blood not like ours." I said, "You have special blood." And I said,
Yeah.
"God made you with special blood, but you're gonna be fine because you got a mama who gonna take care of that special blood." So he's not
Yeah.
realizing that he's different, but not
Right.
different. Like for when they go
Yeah.
outside for recess, he can only go outside with a certain temperature. How I got his IEP wrote up and stuff. But
Yeah.
he's learning. He's learning, and
Yeah.
he's learning now. When he have a cry, he go get the heat pad. He'll run and go plug up the heat pad and put him. So I'm trying to teach him stuff. So he's
Yes.
doing good. I'm gonna get him there.
Mm, that's so good. That's so good to hear that.
Hmm.
So that how you were advocating for your son when he walks too much, that's a real thing, because when I walk too much my legs start to swell and I
Hmm.
will have a crisis. So it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, and y- knowing you probably will have a whole list, but what do you think the sickle cell community needs the most?
They need funding, funding, funding.
Mm,
A lot of
okay.
funding. I mean, no lie, just a lot, which they don't have.
Yeah,
But
yes,
you guys
I
need
hear that.
funding. Yeah, a lot of funding. They need more education. A lot of
Yeah,
more education. I would say funding and education are my top two.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
And,
And we need education on the funding.
uh-huh.
You know,
So yeah. So
oh, 'cause
that money, you guys, a lot of money. I say they send so much money over to other countries. I look at the news. I see all this money going to fight for other countries, and it's so much that need to be funded here.
right,
That's why we don't have any money because it's being shipped off, and then you can't get your voice out there because there's no money, nobody to look at you because there's no funding. But I think if we had that funding, it'll be more people like, oh, we need to do something about this sickle cell. So,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I hear you on that.
Hmm.
And praying we work together, people will start to invest in our community and
Hmm.
invest in our purpose, you know,
Yeah.
especially to improve our quality of life, you know,
Hmm.
that
That's like
it's
the Sickle Cell Foundation here. Um, they never contact me until Jacob go to the hospital, and I advocate. Then when I get home days later, did you need anything? You didn't contact me any when he was in the hospital. Where were you at? No, I
right,
don't need anything from you because when mines open up, I will be there for anybody who need me. I'm not gonna call a week later after the person got the hospital and ask, "Do you need anything?" No. If you was a real
right,
foundation, you would have knew that we needed. So even to check up, maybe we didn't need anything. You're the Sickle
right,
Cell Foundation of Alabama. You should have brought somebody to the hospital to say, "Well, do you need this? Do you need an advocate to be called for your child?" You wait a week later till I get out the hospital. Do you need anything? Mm-mm.
right.
No.
Yeah.
So
And
even
I
some of
think,
the self foundations are not what they're supposed to be.
yep, yep. I feel like some of them are there just to say that they have an organization and to soak up the funding that is there for us.
Exactly, exactly.
Because I don't see a lot of the sickle cell foundations helping warriors like that. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
did a episode on some foundations in the sickle cell community, and I actually had a really hard time finding foundations that actually help the warriors, like actually
Mhm.
go into the hospitals, meet
Mhm.
with the warriors, that actually hold support group sessions and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like I don't hear that a
No.
lot, you know, from these
Mhm.
organizations. And I feel like they're soaking up the little bit of money that they will give us,
Yeah,
and they're not helping us in the process.
exactly. It's all for, my thing is, I think it's just all for show to say, well, we have a sickle cell foundation and we help here. You don't help. You do a sickle cell walk once a year. You raise money, but where's that money going? It's not going to the
Right,
warriors. Who getting the money?
right. And they never show any, like some of them, they don't show the patients they're helping.
No,
They don't show any of that. Like
no.
they have these foundations, they do these galas to raise funding, like you said, and I we never see
Never.
where the patients are helped. We never see where they oh, we took all this money and gave it to such and such. You
Mhm.
know, we don't see that. It's
Mhm.
just you had a fundraiser, everybody showed out, there was some nice speakers. That's it.
Mhm.
You know,
Like last
that's
year,
it.
no, the year before last, I did the Sickle Cell Walk. I had Jacob shirts and stuff, and we raised money. And I got to think, I was like, where is this money going? Because it was one time I needed money for his medication when he was on his adroxyurea and stuff. And I reached out to him. I will get back with you. That was 2 years ago. When you gonna get back with me? I don't need your
Yep.
help now.
Yep. All the organizations that help with like medication and stuff like that that I know are through Medicaid and Medicare and
Mm-hmm.
government stuff. It's not
Mm-hmm.
any of these sickle cell organizations that are doing things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where we got to call it out, you know?
And I said, they're the foundation supposed to get all the kids together, have a picnic, have something, to bring everybody together. Because let
Right.
them be with their, let them talk. Kids talk, well, it's nothing. You don't see
Mhm.
anything from the foundation. And it's ridiculous.
Right. And it makes it's the reason why some of these warriors feel like they're fighting alone.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they're fighting alone because not everybody has somebody like you that can fight for them, you know?
Right.
And especially when you become an adult and you're running your own care, you
Mm-hmm.
don't, your family, some of us, our family stops supporting us. They stop coming to the hospital when we
Mm-hmm.
go. And it's just us trying to advocate for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
is
on TikTok and saw a warrior, and he was in the hospital, and somebody asked him, how did his partner feel? And he was like, he has the best partner that stayed, I can't talk, stick beside him. And I think last week they got married, and I was like, that's a good lady because a lot of people is going to run, and it's just
yeah.
because a lot of people can't take it, they don't want to see it, and they're going to run. And I put on his page,
Right.
keep her, don't be good to that lady because he in the hospital a lot. 'Cause I follow him on his page because she's a strong
Mhm.
woman to do that.
Yes. Have
Exactly.
you experienced that? Like, have you took a hit with your jobs or your social life because of?
Um, I used to work at Amazon, and Jacob would have crisis, so I will at Amazon. There's no doctor excuses except that you have to be there if you don't have the time. So, one incident, he was
Wow.
hospitalized, so I went through what Amazon and have you go through, and they're like, "Well, we need to see doctor record, we need to see this and that." So I got everything did, everything faxed in. They called back, they said that's not enough. I'm thinking, what
It's
more do you want? You have everything there. You have doctors' letters. They want to know how long the crisis was going to last. I said, if you can
right.
pinpoint how long a crisis is going to last, you're God. There's no
Yeah.
possible way I can tell you how long this boy gonna be in the hospital with a crisis. There's no set days. They don't pick how many days. We're gonna have 2 days of crisis here, and then I'm finished. So eventually, I
Right.
had to leave Amazon because they didn't approve any of my stuff, but they wanted to know how long was his crisis going to last. So that was one job but the job I have now, my principal, he's very good about knowing when I need to be out. He gave me plenty of days for Jacob. So I said I need to stick to this job because they understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's so few of them out there that do. They
Mm-hmm.
do not care. They will let you go in a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
They just
And
heartless.
yep,
Just heartless.
it's they don't care what you're going through. They don't. They either be there or don't come back. you know,
Exactly.
be
Exactly.
there or don't come back.
Exactly.
And it's a shame. It's like we are humans. We're not robots.
Mm-hmm. I say
Some
I wish
days,
I wish just the roles could be reversed, that the people who don't really understand it could get it for just one day, just a crisis one day
right?
to get it. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I see what's going on. You know, these people need help. Just the roles to
yeah,
reverse.
yes. I have wished that so many times. Every time I get a heartless doctor that just don't understand and dismissive of what I'm going through, I'm just like, I wish you could be in my shoes right now because you would probably be crumbling on
Mm-hmm.
that floor crying,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
And I always say I
there's no,
applaud you guys because you guys are so strong and so tough. Because I know I couldn't handle it. And
yeah,
you guys, I mean, when I say you guys are tough and warriors, you guys are warriors all the way through.
thank you. Yes, yes. we have literally been fighting for our lives our
Mhm.
whole life,
Mhm.
and it's it,
And it's scary
thank you.
because it doesn't get better. That I've been seeing,
Right.
it doesn't get better, so it's very scary. And when I see
Yeah.
older people like yourself, I have to applaud you guys because y'all go through it.
Thank.
I mean, from going to the
Yeah.
hospital, being mistreated, like y'all just there just to want to be there, but you don't want to be there. And the other
Right.
stuff you guys go through, it's, yeah, I applaud you. You know,
And
Hey,
they
bow down
swear
to
the
you.
hospital. thank thank you so much. But I swear these doctors sometimes they act like we're pulling up to the club or something when we
Mhm,
come to the hospital. It's like I'm not waiting outside of the ER to get in like it's the
mhm,
club. You know, I
mhm,
don't want to be here. Just as much as you are tired of seeing me, I'm tired of seeing you too.
mhm.
Okay.
It's not like
I
you
don't.
wanted to go, you know?
Right. That is, oh, it's, and that's where some of us avoid the hospital. We've been mistreated so much
Mhm,
that even when we need to be in the hospital somewhere, we will avoid it and suffer in silence because they're not gonna do anything when you get there anyway. You know,
mhm.
they're gonna
Exactly.
mistreat you when you get there anyway. They're gonna dismiss you.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of warriors get into that depression state and stuff because
Yeah.
there's nobody to talk to because nobody believes you. And that's when,
Mm,
the suicide rates go up and all of that. And I think
yeah.
if we can just voice it and get more out there, the suicide rate to come down and depression rate to come down. But we got to work on the funding, the education, and educating these doctors who think they know every single thing. You don't know what you're talking about. Get out the books. Listen to you guys. You guys know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, it's oh, I think they think because they've studied so much and they know so
Hmm.
much about the body and how it
Hmm.
works that they know everything. And it's like you don't know everything, especially because they don't even teach that much of
Yeah.
sickle cell. I heard that they teach like
That's
30
it.
minutes of it.
That's it. Hmm.
30 minutes.
That's it.
So how in the world can you adequately treat sickle cell with only 30 minutes of
Hmm.
education?
And that's all they go by. That's little 30
And then,
minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. And they take that and just run with it and think they know everything in the world.
right, and more than the person that lived with it and grew up with it and has went through it every single day,
Hmm.
and it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. How do you keep the faith? What do you do to like keep hope alive and keep your son, you know, motivated and you know
I
hopeful
pray,
for the
I
future?
pray a lot, and I just study. I find myself up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm writing notes. I'm studying because I know that he's going to be okay. I pray, 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 and I know he's going to be good. I just know
Yes.
it. And I
Yes.
pray for
Well,
all
I'm
the
glad.
warriors. You guys are going to be good. You know,
Thank.
gotta keep that faith.
That's what we do.
I said the Lord didn't put him here for anything. He didn't
Yep.
put you here for anything. You guys got a purpose, and I know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like he gave your son sickle cell for a reason so he can
Hmm.
tell his struggle
Hmm.
and his triumph even through all the struggles, even through
Hmm.
sickle cell, you know. God has defeated sickle cell already.
Yes.
So I know he got us. I know he got us. And I'm glad to know that
Yes.
he's got a mother on his side. Your son's got a mother with faith on his side that's going to keep him encouraged and blessed and prayed over
Hmm.
because we do need that, you know. So
Always.
this is
Always.
for warriors out there. Yeah, any warrior out there that's struggling, because I've talked to some and they they tell me, you know, it gets hard, it gets dark, it's
Mhm.
they don't want to be here sometimes.
Hmm.
And that prayer, like you said,
Yeah, the devil will
it
step
helped.
in, and you gotta just be like, "Devil, move back! You ain't about to take me out." And you gotta stay on faith. I know it'd be hard for you guys, and y'all will be like, "Well, I don't see the light. The light gonna be there soon. It's coming."
Yes, yes. Thank you for your encouragement and and everything. Thank you
Oh,
so
you're
much.
welcome.
It's so at this point, is there anything, any specific topic you want to talk about? Anything that I haven't asked you?
When you transition from child to adulthood, I hear a lot about the you have to wait in the ER as an adult. Is that something you've
Hmm.
encountered, having to wait while in
Oh,
the crisis?
yes, yeah. When you transition to adulthood, it's a whole different ballgame because their empathy and their compassion goes out the window for you.
Okay.
You know, as a child, they some of them treat you like gold as a child. You know, because
Hmm.
you're innocent or whatever. But it literally, if you are not, like, if you don't have a fever, if you don't have high blood pressure at the time, if all you have is just pain and no other symptoms, then yeah, you're gonna have to wait. They're gonna sit you aside. They're not gonna think that it's an emergency or anything, especially if your vitals are good and everything. They they will make you wait, and I have waited in the ER literally for 8 to 10 to 12 hours trying to
Oh
get a room.
wow, wow.
I applaud you when you said you were, you know, you have him on natural medicines and stuff like that, because the natural way is the best way.
Yeah,
You know, it's
it
the
really
best.
is. Like, I treat him like a vegan. He don't eat meat. He's never has cow's milk. He does almond milk, a lot of vitamins, sea moss, burdock root. So I do a lot of that route.
Yeah,
So
that's good. That's good, especially in the US where the food is crap. You know,
yes, yes.
it's so poisonous. So I definitely understand. And I there are a lot of sickle cell warriors out there that do advocate to heal yourself with food, and food is your medicine. I definitely got to get my life together with it. You know, I'm still a meat eater,
I am
but
too.
but yeah, they I know a lot of sickle cell warriors that are doing good, and they do the natural stuff. They do the smoothies every day. They do, you know, they have their
Mhm.
regimen to keep them healthy and out of the hospital.
Uh-huh.
But
Yes.
other other than the crisis, has your son had any major complications with sickle cell?
No. We thought his gallbladder was messed up, and I started doing something natural. And I prayed, and his gallbladder is just fine when he went back for testing.
That's
I
good.
wanted to take it out. I was like, because he still has his spleen too. I
Yeah.
do natural to clean his spleen out, and they just can't believe his spleen is still in and gallbladder. I was like, that's the Lord, baby. That's the Jesus.
Right. Oh yes, yes. And I actually met and spoke to some warriors the past few days that still have theirs as well. Their spleen and their
Hmm.
gallbladder. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, because almost every warrior that I knew,
Hmm.
they got one or the other. Now I got my gallbladder taken out in the 12th grade, I believe, and I still have my spleen, but it's a big callus ball, like it doesn't function.
Okay.
So yeah, I
So they
have.
always said, when you go to check the spleen for the first, when you go to check the spleens, I said, y'all really, I'm a massage therapist too. And I said, y'all really not checking it if if you're not pushing in the right area, because we can go to the hemo, they just touch the belly. What are you touching? That's not the spleen. I need to teach you where the
Right.
spleen is at.
Yeah. Oh Lord. And they are getting so lazy with their education
Mm-hmm.
that they're not teaching or requiring these medical providers to be educated on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's ridiculous the ignorance that goes around. But
Yeah.
it's good that he hasn't had any major complications because that the gallbladder is definitely one.
Take his out. And I was like, they was pushing for it. We need to take that, but they're just pushing for it. And some
Yeah,
said, Shannon, don't do it yet. Just wait. That was Jesus. Just wait. So I went
yeah,
online and just started researching plants and stuff. Just
yeah,
and he went a couple months ago. Gallbladder just as healthy and fine. I was like, see, that was the
yeah,
devil telling them to let me take it out. And I didn't listen
yeah.
to the devil, so I had to do my own thing. But so far, when we went back, his gallbladder is perfect.
That's good.
They couldn't believe it.
That's good. That is good. Hopefully, it will remain that way because
We trying to
uh,
hold out.
yeah, a lot of us have lost ours because it acts up. Sickle cell
Mhm.
beats up your organs. It beats them up so bad, and that little old gallbladder is so little it can't take it. It
Mhm.
can't take the beating.
Right.
But
How long do you be hospitalized when you do have a crisis? Your typical hospital stay.
uh, well, these days I try to get out of there n- after a week.
Well,
I be on my way, and it may not be the healthiest thing to do, but I don't like to sit in the hospital. Like
because I know
once,
some doctors like to lower your meds. How long you been there? They like to lower that pain medicine and stuff when you're still in crisis.
yeah, yeah, they'll lower it gradually as
Mhm.
you at the longer you're there.
Mhm.
But I usually let them keep me a week if unless they're just like, yeah, you're not ready, your labs are off and bad and stuff like that. But a week is about all they'll get out of me because I get stir crazy in there. I
Yes.
start I start, just being like, look, I need to get up out of here. And then I miss my children, especially because there's restrictions when it's cold outside during flu season and all that. They don't want the kids in there. And I miss my kids and I feel guilty when
Right.
I'm in the hospital. I
Right.
have a lot of guilt. Uh, yeah.
Let me
It,
ask, do you take the flu vaccination?
I did, but every time lately, every time I get the flu, my arm swells up
Mhm.
like this, and I
Yes.
don't. And it did that with the pneumonia vaccine one time. It
Mhm.
swelled my arm up so big. I was like, no, no, not again. So
Jacob, when he was one, his before I knew anything, his pediatrician had gave him the flu vaccination. And like a day later, he went into crisis. And I was like, oh. So we stayed
yeah,
in the hospital a week and a half. And I started
yeah,
thinking, I said, let me go ask some more warriors about the flu. They were like, well, some did, some didn't. They were like, but you know, it caused crisis in certain people. So he's never had after
yeah,
that. So every time we go, when
right,
it's getting cold, he needs flu. Nope, nope, he's
mm,
fine. Because
yeah.
that
And they,
flu shot caused him a crisis every time. It's something that
yeah,
flu vaccination that caused something to happen, would send him into crisis.
yes, it's the same thing. I was literally admitted once in a crisis already,
Hmm.
and they administered a flu vaccine and literally had a crisis like
Hmm.
no 10 minutes after they injected me. My arm is swollen and I am like in so much pain, and it is not time for my scheduled pain medicine yet, you know it. but it re-triggered me all over again. So I
Yeah.
haven't had mine in a while. They mention it, they bring it up every now and then, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I know y'all see my allergy list. It says flu vaccine, pneumonia vaccine, because it
Mm-hmm.
makes my arms swell. I don't want to go through a crisis every time I get a vaccine. I don't.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's good to know. So you're another one that it flares up because she
Right.
organized.
It's
She
so
organized. It's
it's
not the flu. It's not the flu vaccination. Yes, it is, lady. I promise you. I see it.
right. What else is it?
I'm
I
not
got the flu
crazy.
vaccine, or he got the flu vaccine. He had a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and every time that happens, you can only
Yeah.
put two and two together so many times before you get
And
four.
then they try to scare you. Well, if he catch the flu, he can get acute chest syndrome and all of that. Well, that's something
Mm,
I'm gonna have to deal with. But either way,
yeah.
if he get it, he gonna be in crisis. If he get the flu, he
Right.
gonna be in crisis. So let
Crisis.
me take my
Yep.
chances at this point.
Hmm. And then the vaccine, they'll tell you that it'll only cover you about 50% from the flu. It'll only cover,
Hmm.
well, if that's the case, I'll take my chances.
Exactly.
Again, if that's the case, if it's only going to cover me 50%, I don't need that 50%. Not,
Hmm.
not if I'm going to have to suffer extra for it.
Hmm.
So, mm-mm.
So yes,
Have you seen any of the episodes of the podcast and prior,
I
or
have
you?
not.
Okay, okay. Well, you definitely got to check it out.
I sure will.
We I have different topics for every episode, and um it's I talk about the pain, I talk about the challenges and stuff like that, like that we face as sickle cell warriors. And I just want to thank you today because you brought up some of the challenges that you face as a caregiver and a mother to a sickle cell warrior. Um, your perspective is very unique, and um, it's very knowledgeable. Um, Thank you for sharing that.
I just want to say, just overall, childhood, adulthood, you're not alone. You don't have to face this alone. Educate yourself, even as a warrior. Don't give up. You may be educated, but the education can go further and further. Keep your head up, and don't let these doctors tell you stuff that you know is wrong. Don't take no for an answer, and just keep it going and keep your head up.
Yes, thank you so much for that encouragement. Um, you're part of the family, you know. Everybody that's coming on the podcast, they're a part of my family now. And yeah, it's it's been a great conversation with
Yeah.
you. It's been a very eye-opening, and with telling your son's story. Everyone else that I've spoken with, they have the disease.
Okay.
It hadn't been many, but I if you know of other caregivers, because they are in the groups. I don't know if you have if you're on Facebook, but there's a lot of Facebook groups where they have mothers of sickle cell warriors and all of that. They have all those support groups on Facebook where they go in there and they exchange knowledge with each other. They exchange stories about what they've been through with their child, things that work, things that don't work. So there's a lot. If you're not in those groups, there's a lot to learn in those support groups. It will
Okay.
really open your eyes to show you, hey, I'm not alone, even in my supporter journey, my
Right.
caregiver journey with this.
Right.
they they have them. So it's not just, there's a lot of sickle cell groups just for the sickle cell patient themselves, but there's also groups for the family and the
Okay.
caregivers and others of sickle cell
Okay.
as well. And there's a lot of them. I can actually send you some of the names of the groups if you're not in them.
Yes,
Cause
please send me some. And there's
yeah.
also a group on Facebook if you want to go natural, kids,
Mhm.
adults. It's a natural group on Facebook also. I want to
Okay.
say it's called Sickle Cell Natural Journey, and
Okay.
moms to teach you how to go natural and what meds to
Yeah.
take and what to take to not take meds and stuff. So that's a good
Right.
group also.
Oh yes, thank you for sharing that. Anything that helps the warriors, and
Mm-hmm.
that I am all for. But for your
Yes.
area, what do you feel like the best hospital is for the warriors to go to in your area?
Well, here we have Children's Hospital UAB. I don't know if you ever heard of it. That's our
Hmm.
the top hospital that does kids here. University of
Okay.
Alabama, Birmingham, UAB.
Yeah, I heard of UAB before,
Yes,
so
yes.
that's good because I've talked to warriors about their experiences, and if they've had bad experiences in the hospital, let us know. Tell us the names of these hospitals that are treating us
Mhm.
horribly, so that we know to avoid them,
Yes,
and tell us the of the hospitals that are treating us well, so we know where to go, because you can save somebody's
that's like I'm
life,
relocating,
you know.
and I've been asking people, well, can you tell me any good hospitals in Texas between Texas and Washington that I'm trying to get to for his treatment? And I've heard
Yeah.
good hospitals in Texas, bad hospitals, and it really scared me because I don't know what to expect.
Right. It's
Yeah,
unpredictable everywhere you
yeah.
go. So you have a right to be scared. You really do. You
Hmm.
have a right. A healthy fear of these hospitals is a must, unfortunately,
Yes.
because I've seen so many things with my own eyes concerning other warriors. You know, I've seen so
Hmm.
many other things of them treating warriors horribly in the hospital. So
Right.
your fear is not unjustified. You have a fear for a reason. Just know that. So
Okay, he's.
and
Let me ask you a question. He's taking his first airplane ride. He got his Make a Wish. We applied for Make a Wish, so he got his
okay,
wish ring, and they're
okay.
flying us to Disney World. Have you ever experienced a crisis flying? Have you ever experienced a crisis in the
I
air?
I have never flown,
Okay.
unfortunately. So I don't know. Now I do um have spoke to people that have flown, and the only thing they say is oxygen could probably help you, but they've been fine. I haven't
Okay.
heard anyone being triggered by the plane ride or anything,
Okay.
unless they're already feeling bad, then
Okay.
maybe. But I don't think that it's really affecting us too much, to keep us from flying, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I was
So
like, can he fly? I don't know. I said, I know he can't swim because the water causes a crisis. But I was like, I never
right.
think somebody asked me, like, can he fly? I was like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything bad, with warriors that do fly. I haven't heard like, oh, stay out the air. I've had a crisis. Haven't
Okay.
heard that. I've always just been told because of the elevation, you might need oxygen, you know?
Okay.
So,
Anybody on here with kids, tell them to please, please, please do make a wish so their kids can be granted their one wish.
okay.
So
I
I'm plugging
definitely,
that out there. Get your kid that one wish. Anything in the world they want, they will give it to you.
yes, definitely. And they heard it. I'm a, but I, I'm on board. I hear you. I don't know a lot of little baby sickle cell warriors, but the ones that I do know, I definitely tell them what you said.
Because it used to be hard for the sickle cell kids to get a wish because they don't think that sickle cell is a disability. So when I
Right.
applied for it and they called and gave me an interview, and they was like, "You'll know in about 2 or 3 weeks," and we got approved for it. I was like, "Oh wow, well that's a
Yeah,
turnaround." So I talked
yeah.
to the lady. She was like, "Well, we're considering it, since it's everybody, have it now. It's a disability." Now, like, well,
Mm,
tell that to the Social Security people because I've been trying for his disability forever and can't get it.
And that's so crazy because my mother was able to get it for me. She
I've
couldn't.
I've been denied seven
Mhm.
times, and I still appeal it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I would keep, because if you sending in his medical records of how many times you've missed work and been fired, they
Mhm.
need all of that proof. And normally, especially if the warrior is hospitalized and you're missing a lot of work,
Mhm.
they normally will approve you for that. But of course, they gotta deny
Yeah.
a bunch of
I
times.
started when he was in the NICU, and they said, "Oh, he won't be approved." I was like, "Well, he should be approved. He approved me. I'm not even trying to get the sickle cell." And then when
Mhm.
we got out the hospital, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to apply for with him have sickle cell." Nothing. I've been trying for 3 years.
Yeah, I would say keep trying
Oh, I am.
because it will help. It will help.
Mhm.
Yes, it once they finally do approve you, especially if you have your back to back proof of years and going through this and all of the stuff you've endured, losing
Mhm.
jobs and income and all of that stuff, cancel plans, constant
Yeah.
hospitalizations and doctor's visits. And I would put all that stuff in there too, like not just when he's in the ER, but like when he has to go to the doctor, all of these different appointments,
Mhm.
every single thing, because it impacts so much, you know, it
They
impacts.
even denied his life insurance policy. I was trying to get life insurance on him,
uh,
and they denied that. I'm having a hard
yeah,
time finding life insurance on him.
yes, yes,
It's
I have
terrible.
heard that. Yep, they do not want to insure people with pre-existing conditions and stuff like that. And that goes back to that discrimination that the insurance company was doing against people with pre-existing conditions.
Mhm.
Obama was trying to nip that in the bud.
Yep. Sure
We ain't
was.
even get on that though, because these people, they want to take away the little bit of funding we do have, you
Mhm.
know.
And it's
But
not
I
that
have.
much.
Right. And I've heard so many people say they can't get insurance. They can't get life insurance because they have sickle cell.
Yeah, I
And
filled out
that's
the paperwork, and they let him have it for 1 month, and then I got a letter that said that they had to drop it, and I was
mm,
like, "This is ridiculous."
yeah, because they know once they see the life expectancy of a sickle cell warrior, and they know they're going to have to pay out, if
Yep.
something happens.
Mhm.
And we're a high risk insurance person, so they're not
Exactly.
going to rush to insure us at all. And I
Exactly.
wish I could tell you some of the insurance companies that will insure you, because I don't even know of any.
And I even tried the Gerber life insurance and got
Right.
denied the Gerber. I
You
was
would
like, "This
think,
Gerber."
right. This is the baby life insurance.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation. It has been a wealth of knowledge. You've given me a lot of hope,
Oh, you got
that we're
it.
not alone in this. Yes. So thank you so much. I'm happy to speak to someone that doesn't have it, but is an advocate, because their child has. I'm happy
Mhm.
to speak to someone like you. Thank you, thank you, thank you
And
so
if
much, Kim.
anybody ever need an advocate, I am a click away. It's on my TikTok page, and you can DM me, and I'll be there to advocate
All
for you. So don't be scared. You're not alone.
right. Thank you so much for
Thank
everything.
you.
Thank you again.
If you made it to the end of this interview, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Please, please, please follow us, like, and share. Okay? And we will see you guys in next episode.